Hey, it's Mark, and welcome back to another in the video series of Mark's Millionaire Challenge. And so I want to kind of recap what happened today. I'm pretty exhausted. Quite frankly, unless you've got these appointments kind of fairly close together, in my humble opinion, 4 in one day seems to be, probably a tad too much. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm just sort of getting myself, acclimated to being out there 4 times, a day, and, hearing, listening to these guys and all of that. I don't know, it could be, a combination of the heat, because, man, it is very hot in the Midwest right now. And so, not that I'm complaining about it, because I love the hot weather, but, being in, some kind of semi, casual business attire, that's some hot stuff when you're accustomed to being a guy who wears cargo shorts, a t-shirt, and some flip-flops during the summer, because that's just how I've been working for the last several years. And so putting on those clothes it's been a little different. But anyway, enough about my whining and moaning and crying. First, I want to talk about, I got a couple blog posts today, and I wanted to sort of touch on those. First of all, Toby, thank you very, very much for what you sent me. And I got to admit, you're 100% right. If this guy would have, waited until, I banked some money and made this proposal to me, I would have no doubt figured out a way to make this work for the both of us. Would he have gotten all of his concessions? The answer is no, he would not have. But he would have gotten something, that I believe would have made him happy as well as me as well. So, so you're spot on when you said that. The other thing that you mentioned was you're right. Face-to-face meetings are huge, and I just want to touch on that briefly. When you're sitting down with a business owner face-to-face, it's been my opinion, and I mean, look, this is not the first time that I've sat in front of people to make them some sort of an offer. I've been coaching for a very long time, sort of behind the scenes, and I pretty much wait to see what they're looking for, because they're gonna tell you what they want. They're gonna tell you what they're looking for, and then you give them what they want. You don't have to sell them anything. And so, what I have found though is in these face-to-face meetings, there needs to be a balance between how much you share in your expertise versus what they ought to be hearing. And and I'll give you a prime example. I had 2 meetings today in which they talked and they shared everything, and during the interview, listen for clues. These guys are going to tell you what sucks, what they need help with. And in both cases, my 2 morning appointments out of the 4, that's exactly what happened. They basically told me what they needed. And so in sharing stuff with them, they got really excited. I mean, they wanted to know more. And so there needs to be a balance between what you share with them, because you can't overwhelm them. You can overwhelm them to the point where you don't leave with a check. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because in my humble opinion, these 2 guys that I sat with today, my 2 morning appointments, these are going to turn out to be some pretty large 5-figure deals, based on what they asked me to put together for them for our next scheduled meeting. And so one was an audio-visual guy, and when we sat down and we talked, he shared some ideas with me and told me that in his sales cycle, he basically from September to March just can't generate any business. And so, I gave him some ideas on how he could do that. One was to teach some video photography and editing classes. And let me tell you, both owners, because they had 2 guys who run this business, sat up and said, "How do we do that?" And so I shared some things with them. I didn't give them a complete plan. Now they want me to come back and sit down with them and give them a complete overall marketing program, in which at that point, they're going to tell me what they want, and I'm going to sell them what they want. The second person I met with was the owner of a title company. In some parts of the country, you guys call them closing agents or closing attorneys. I'm not sure what you call them in other parts of the world, in the UK or Canada. I just don't know. Okay, but they're the folks, if you're in the UK or Canada, they're the folks who actually complete the real estate transaction when you buy or you sell a house. They're the third-party folks who sit down with you, and they they're the ones who, are responsible for making sure all the documents are signed properly, that funds are dispersed, to the seller, all those different things. Okay, and so I met with the owner of one of those companies today, in which I found out he has 9 different locations and over 30 employees. And by the time that we were done, he was completely blown away. And this guy's very smart, but he also knows he's missing a boat on marketing. And when I finished laying out some stuff for him, he's looking at getting, looks to be probably about 10 websites, and he wants a complete marketing funnel done for him, as well as, he does some teaching, and he wants me to help him to structure and set all of that up as well. And so I'm excited because he too wants a second meeting with a complete marketing plan laid out. And at that point, it's just about deciding on the dollars. And so I'm really excited about those. But the downfalls to that is if you share too much, then guess what? They're going to want a second meeting. They're going to want you to lay out, what you've done, because you've already proven that you're the expert. And now they want an actual plan. Versus if you stuck with a mobile site, or if you stuck with, you do site redesigns, or if you stuck with, I can drive more traffic to your business, and that's it, then you're going to do well. And I think you'll probably collect, $1,000 here or $500 here, depending on who you're with. But you know what? I'm okay with a second meeting because I honestly believe that this is going to lead to, high 5-figure deals for me, and so that's okay with me. My second 2 appointments in the afternoon were both complete disasters. One guy was a used car lot. Don't laugh. It was booked, so I went. And I went out there, and the guy had 3 cars on his lot, and so that interview lasted all of about 10 minutes. He was not very trusting for some reason. I don't know if he thought that, I don't know if I was trying to gather information on him or what, but he just, he wasn't mean, but he was just kind of standoffish, and he really just didn't want to share. And, I know John says that you probably shouldn't look at a business and judge whether or not they spend money or not, but, I just didn't see where I could help this guy. And I even, at the last minute said, hey, how's your website doing? And when he showed me that, he's got a cloned website from Auto Trader, because that's where he buys and sells cars, and through Auto Trader, he's provided with a website. So, that was, and he's had it for 7 years. So I just didn't see that turning out to be anything. Then I went out to my next appointment, my very last one, which was way out in the boondocks. It was a company that services boats and all these other things, and in driving out there, lots of construction. So my GPS, didn't tell me about all these construction zones and things being blocked off, and I wasn't familiar with the area. And I called the guy and said, although I was going to be really early, I called him and said, how do I get to you? Because there's like all these closed roads, and his response was, oh, hey, man, you got to call before you come out because I'm down at the lake, which is like 3 hours away. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, you had a scheduled appointment, then I don't know why you wouldn't be here to keep it. But anyway, it is what it is. And so, quite frankly, I'm happy with the 2 appointments that I have going. Not necessarily excited about not that I didn't walk away with money, but I believe that, at least 2 of them next week will turn into something. The bigger guy, the title company guy, he has Bible school all next week. So he and I won't be meeting until the following week, but he is definitely on board with building multiple sites for this title company, as well as his teaching business, where he works with real estate attorneys and real estate agents and things like that. So that seems to be headed sort of in the right direction. There was another question I got about the accountant that I met with yesterday, and I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name right, but it looks like it's Ehsan, E-H-S-A-N, and he or she says, I don't understand how the accountant could possibly start by asking you questions about his website. Well, when he asked me about mine and how he was going to benefit from that. Then he immediately started talking about his website, and I keep watching the time because I know I've only 12 minutes. And so look, if they steer you towards that, then the guy's already given you buying signals that he wants to buy something. And so, we talked about it. And, it was kind of, ass backwards, because we talked about his business, then we talked about, we did an interview, then we went back to his business, and he wants a proposal. He wants me to lay it all out for him, because he's that kind of guy. He's a very analytical guy. And so I'm going to lay it on the line. I'm going to lay out my, my prices and my fees, because obviously you don't take that stuff with you when you're doing an interview. You're not selling. And I see this guy on Monday. So I've got the weekend to put it together. Give him a call on Monday. He just said call him and just swing by, and we'll sit down and I'll show him the numbers and, again, the benefits to it all. And I'm sure that that'll turn out to be a deal. So, all in all, look, I mean, it was a great 2 days. Didn't take home anything. I guess I'm learning a lot, in perfecting my closes. I've never done this kind of sat down and done, this kind of selling, but I'm finding it to be very, very beneficial. So it's Friday, thanks. And look, if I do some work over the weekend, I may throw up a video. If I do, check it out. You can come back and see if there's something there. If not, rest assured, come Monday, there will be a video. So have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.